welcome to tonight's episode of the Group Therapy Podcast. Today we have Laitram Tsol. Yes,
That's correct. Laitram Tsol.
All right. He is. I don't even know how to describe you. You're on YouTube. You're running around at conventions and you've got a convention that you're with and all that fun stuff. So please tell us about yourself, sir.
Well, I'm a very unique character. Unfortunately, I've come out of hell. Usually I just do it once a year, but I started getting into the horror conventions because I started off where I was the host of a haunted house, and it's grown from there in the last 20 years. We actually created it and converted it to another convention, which is called Haunted Screams Expo. And we do that in September. But I have a really good time. And since I had such a good time, I decided to start going to different cons and saying hi to everybody. So it's been a beautiful experience seeing people and, not getting the strange looks that I do whenever I go to the beach.
Yeah. I could definitely see you at the beach. You're out there with your coat and your big black umbrella and hanging out.
Of course,
So what level of hell are you from?
Well, I'm at the very starter level, and Lucifer says that I talk way too much, and he's always happy to get rid of me. I haven't even earned my horns yet because I never do anything bad.
So you're saying that you start out as running a haunted house. Where were you running a haunted house at?
Out in Virginia Beach.
Virginia Beach. Yeah. Now that had to be a quote unquote hell of a haunted house to have a demon running it. So.
Oh yes, I told everybody if they fall behind and left behind, then they stay behind because our monsters can do whatever they want with them. Then.
Yes. Now where's your convention that you're running?
Oh, it's in Hampton, Virginia, and it's called Haunted Screams Expo. In September 17th and 18th is whenever we do it. It's always the third weekend in September.
Okay, because I seen last year's lineup. I haven't seen this year's lineup. I went to your site. That is a great bunch of guests that you had last year.
This year it's going to be a lot better, and soon it'll be dropping. But since you're interviewing, I'll give you a little prequel on some of the people that we're going to have. We're going to hopefully some of these people are people that you're interested in. Character-wise, I know I'm going to have Pinhead there. I know I'm going to have the Leprechaun, and I know I'm going to have Chucky. And I know I'm going to have Leatherface and Samira from The Ring. So those are a few of the people I'm going to have.
That's real good. I have met Pinhead. I have met two Leatherfaces. And first Leatherface, super nice guy. I had him on the show, but when it was a public access television show back in the day. So that's where this started out as. Pinhead, really nice guy, ironically enough. But that's already looking to be a great lineup. I'm here in Ohio, so that's not that big of a trip over there. We just did. We went to Horror Hound last weekend. Well, not last weekend, weekend before last, sorry.
Right, 2 weekends ago. It's such a good show.
Yes. I hadn't been there in forever because it always seemed to coincide with something else we had going on, because I have my own comic shop and stuff, so I deal with that on top of everything. And then so what else do you do outside of going to conventions and running your own convention? Do you have to keep all the hell beast in order, or
Of course. It's hard to dot all of the T's and cross the I's. You have to make sure the I's are crossed and sewn shut. It's a horrible thing, but we got to do it.
But you don't burn the eyes out first. You just sew them shut.
Oh, no. Just in case they get on vacation, you got to cut it back open so they can see everything.
Now, what's your favorite torture for putting
Yeah,
people in?
I think my favorite torture is Chinese karaoke.
Oh, that has to be just horrible, horrible. Well,
Yes, you need earplugs, and it still doesn't help.
no, American karaoke is bad enough. I couldn't imagine Chinese karaoke. Um, now, how long have you been running your convention?
Oh, well, this will be our fourth year, so we're pretty new at the game. But I think we're doing a pretty good job, and everybody likes it so far. We just keep growing more and more each year. So, the haunted house was something that we really enjoyed doing, and the incorporation of it is you actually have to go through the haunted house in order to get to the vendors and see everybody. So, yay!
Oh, that sounds awesome. Um, I as someone who has worked at haunted house, I didn't work at haunted house. I worked at a haunted corn maze. Um,
Oh, those are fun.
those are great. The best thing is that usually the biggest, burliest guys that act like there's nothing are the ones that will knock their girlfriends aside to get away from the monsters in the maze.
Well, I mean, it's true. You don't have to be the fastest. You just have to be faster than the person next to you. And tripping them helps.
uh, oh yeah, definitely. Now, did you become the demon you are at the haunted house, or were you the demon you are before the haunted house?
You know, uh, um, I was actually created for the haunted house, as far as the humans know.
Mm.
But, I spent several thousand years before that just saying hi to everyone. It's like, hello, what's your name? Welcome to hell. Yes, you are very bad. I see. Okay, good. Please go to lot number 7.
Now, did you ever have any run-ins with any of the other demons because you were doing either a too good of a job or not good enough job?
Oh, all the time. And, unfortunately, they do a better job than me because sometimes I look at people and I'll be like, you really don't belong here. I'm going to send you back. You should go to heaven. And, of course, Lucifer gets mad at me for that because he said that we have to keep all the souls locked away. Um, do you know the show Reaper? You ever
Yes,
heard of that one?
yes.
Okay, so you know how the the souls always escaped?
Yep.
Well, I was the cause of that. I'm sorry.
So, but hey, okay, but there's reasons because that show ended on a cliffhanger.
I know. I was so upset about that. I really wish that it would have continued.
I am still upset about that because so is that a documentary? Is that what it was? Or was it just a docudrama about the real events?
I think it was a docudrama, because, dramas always leave their cliffhangers and they're just like, that's enough. We don't want to talk about it.
So does the devil really look like Ray Wise?
Oh, on a good day, when he wants to say hello to people.
So he looks more like Ray Wise than Tom Ellis. So
Yes, yes. And when he gets mad, he's actually really portrayed as from a legend. It's just that big hornbeam thing that you gotta hold on to.
Tim Curry
Yeah,
then. Is it Tim
Tim
Curry?
Curry, yes, of course.
The big horns and the cloven hooves. And
Of course.
the only thing I thought was disappointing is that darkness is not the devil, he's the devil's son. At least in legend he is.
I know, and honestly, it's sad because I think that he did the best portrayal of the devil, in my opinion. The makeup and everything, and when I visualize what Lucifer looks like in public, instead of actually seeing Ray look in front of me and say, get away," I keep on wanting him to turn into the darkness.
Yeah, that is one of the best versions of the devil I think has ever been put to celluloid. So now since you're doing conventions now, you got your own con. Have you thought about doing television? Have you thought about being a horror host like so many other creatures of the night and demons from the pit?
I've actually been approached with that several times, and I'm considering it. But I really like talking and sharing more events with people like you that have your own podcasts and your own things, because I think it's important just to be more of a guest right now. But it has been broached. Even some people have asked me to host a TV series before, and I'm considering it, but I don't know. I might not.
Okay. So what's your favorite movie? What movie would you put on if you were to do your own show?
Um, I have to actually look back. There's so many. I mean, what do you judge them on? Do you judge them on the scare factor? Do you judge them on the gore factor? Do you judge them on just the actual special effects on the way the monsters turn out? I'll tell you a story. You see, when I was a young boy, and growing up, my parents wanted me to be scared of R-rated movies because I always was bugging them. I was like, I want to see an R-rated movie. I really do. I really do. So they thought they would scare the bejesus out of me. And the first R-rated movie that I saw was actually Alien. And my parents had it on Betamax. And so we played it. And when I was watching it, I was like, oh my, oh my. But you know what? I fell in love with it. And so at night, I turned out all the lights, got some glow sticks and a blanket so I could throw the glow sticks down hallways and wait for the aliens to approach. And then I was going to throw my blanket over them like a net and try to keep them. Now that I think about it, that probably wouldn't have worked anyway. But that's what I wanted to do.
That's a great story. Because I literally I didn't watch Alien today. I watched Aliens today.
Oh,
So,
that's a great one. Yes,
and I watched it on Laserdisc. So
Oh,
you're going back to Betamax. I'm going back to Laserdisc. So
so, it's like halfway through, flip it. All right, do it again. Here we go.
well, no, you got to flip
And
it
it's
three
like
times. You
three
know,
times.
because it's four sides. So you have to, could be worse. I have other movies that are even longer. So okay, so all right, what's other than Alien, what's your go-to movie? The movie
My
that you can
favorite
watch whenever, or movies?
horror movies.
Yeah.
I like Mike Myers because he's more realistic for people, and I think it's very strange how in today's society in the world, people always talk about serial killers, and instead of actually killing them off, they just want to lock them away and study them and find out what's going on. So I think movies like Halloween are more realistic to actually come to life. And so that brings a whole nother scare factor. So I really enjoy Halloween, and I really enjoy like the Conjuring style movies.
Okay. Yeah, I Halloween 1 is one of my favorite, and I can always watch that. I've watched that probably 100 times, if not more, because it gets watched at least once every Halloween, and for the last 30, probably 35 years. So
Yeah, I mean it started the whole slashers. If it wasn't for the creation of Halloween, who knows if we'd ever end up getting Jason and Chucky and the Leprechaun and all these other guys that want to slash up and kill people. It started a whole evolution of movies.
yeah, because we had before that, we did have Leatherface and stuff, but I think that one is the one that really, because I think with like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, people couldn't like put themselves in that situation because you live in a city or you live in a small town or whatever. You're not going to go out into the backwoods of Texas, get lost on a dirt road somewhere, but there is a possibility that there's a crazy person that lives next door.
True,
So
true.
yeah.
And in all honesty, I just don't think that people were ready for Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I think it was way before its time with the gore factor and how gruesome it was.
But there's
I
not
don't
much
think
gore
people
in it,
were
though.
ready for that.
Yeah. If you watch, there's not a whole lot of actual gore in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's all off screen because they
Yes,
have the
but
budget for it.
psychologically it was there.
the scariest thing you'll ever see is in here. So,
Of course.
yes. Now, do you have a movie in another genre that you really like? That's like your go-to movie, and
Oddly enough, as crazy as I am, um, I love all kinds of different movies. I like comedies, actions. It really depends on what mood I wake up in. I even like musicals. The other day I was watching the movie The Producers.
Mhm.
It's a musical, and I was like, wow, this is actually pretty good. And my friends were like, what are you talking about? Change that. There's no death in it.
Yeah, I do like there's nothing wrong with a good Mel Brooks movie, and that's the producers. The new one. Did you watch the new one or the original?
Oh, the original, but I have seen the new one. So yeah, Mel Brooks is a really good guy. He's a excellent producer, and I love his movies that he brings in. Uh, you know, um, like Blazing Saddles was really funny, and of course, Men in Tights. So yeah.
Yes, and his son is pretty good too, putting out the zombie books there. So now, okay, back to hell here. Do you have a favorite person to torture in hell?
Oh, my favorite person to torture in hell. I don't really know. I mean, there's a lot of them out there, and I think people would get a little mad at my at what I would say on that, and it would cause a lot of controversy. So I don't think I should answer that one just yet.
Do you ever, since you're up here on the earthly plane, do you ever go up to people knowing full well that they're going to hell and be like, "I'll see you soon"? You know,
I do it all the time, and they're like, "Oh, why? Where are you going next?" And I was like, "Oh, you'll see."
you'll see. Uh, now, do you have um, a go-to actor that you really like at his movies? Like almost
Hmm.
any movie that they do that you'll go see.
Um, I like Mel Gibson's always pretty good to me. Um, I like, oh, let me see who else would be a really good one. Because it's like he's changed his character so many times throughout the years that I really enjoy watching his work. Um, I would have to also go, hmm, I don't know. There's a lot of good ones out there, really. But you have to look at them as characters instead of an actual actor, because then if you follow them too much as an actor itself, then I find you get disappointed in life because then you get mixed up in their drama,
Yeah,
and their world is their world, but they're still really good actors.
yeah. I legitimately decided the other day. I think my go-to actor is Gary Oldman because
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
he's so good in everything. And
Yeah,
he was
that's a really
Rex
good one.
in True Romance, which is the best. So, um, let's see here. All right. Now, when you do your conventions, and now you said that you have the haunted house before going into the convention. Do you have issues with trying to get people through the haunted house that they just kind of get stuck and freeze up before they can get to the convention?
All the time. And this is what we've done. We've actually fixed that problem. So what we decided is we actually created two haunted houses. When we first started off, we had people go through and they're like, "Oh, that was nothing." But you got to realize that conventions are geared toward everybody.
Hmm.
So it doesn't matter if you're 4 or 99, you should be able to come in and have a good time. So what we ended up doing was we created a kids haunted house and then an adult haunted house. So that way, if you're one of those people that gets scared very easy, or you just don't want to deal with it, go through the kids' haunted house. It's friendly. The monsters give you candy, and it's like walking into sets of different things. And if you want to get scared and you need a helping hand, then you go through the adult one.
Now, do you have people that go back through several times, or they just go in through the once
You
and then?
know, I've actually had cosplayers go through the haunted house, enjoy it, come find me and say, "Hey, can we hang out in the haunted house and scare people the rest of the day?" And I'm like, "Yes, you can, but follow our rules. I don't want you grabbing people, choking them, or, start stabbing them inside. So as long as they follow the rules, I don't care. And there's some people. I went in last year. I went through the haunted house just to check on it, and I had some people that were sitting down with my gremlins and playing Pac-Man on one of the machines that we put in there, and they were eating lunch. And I was like, "Hi." And they're like, "Hey, Laitram, sorry." I was like, "No, you're having fun. That's fine."
Now I seen your music video for your the Gremlins, the Critters, and doing the Muppet Show tonight. That is great.
Yes, yes, we did that for TikTok.
Yeah, I
Yes.
I didn't see it on TikTok. I saw it on YouTube, and I'm literally sitting at the shop, and I started laughing so hard that a guy from the other side had to check on me because I was laughing. And he's
That's
like, "What is it?" I was
beautiful.
like, "Just watch." And unfortunately, he was too young and he didn't quite get it because he didn't know the Muppets that well. So he only knew the Muppets from
Right.
the new stuff and not the old stuff. And I was like, no, no. And I had to go find a video of the Muppets and show them. So, but that
Well,
that
I'm
is
glad you
funny.
could appreciate that. You
And
know,
now I also saw the video of you with the Ecto One. And where were you at during the filming of that one?
I was actually driving home and I saw it on the side of the road, and it's at a place called Hocus Pocus, just a little Hocus Pocus. It's a Halloween shop in North Carolina, and I saw it sitting out there, and I was like, wow, I have to steal that. I mean, borrow that. So I pulled over and talked. I went in there and I was checking it out, and I opened up the door and trying to figure it out. The alarm went off, and the owner came out yelling, and I was like, hello. So sorry. But yes, it
Because
worked out. We're really good friends now.
yeah, because it looked like you were like in the middle of what looked like you were in the middle of nowhere when you shot that. I was like, how did you find the Ecto One in the middle of
Yeah, it's right off of the highway, going from North Carolina up into Virginia.
Tool?
So yeah,
Yeah,
great place. She's got lots of cool things.
I've never been lucky enough to see stuff like that. I've only seen the Michael Bay Transformers and the car from Gone in 60 Seconds going down the interstate,
Nice,
and
nice.
a UFO once. If you ask me and my wife, it was a UFO on a flatbed trailer going down the interstate. And everybody goes, "Why
I
didn't you
believe
take pictures?" I was like, "Because it was surrounded by black SUVs, and the last thing I wanted to do was take a picture and get
it. Get in trouble, yes,
pissed."
because they would have been like, "Excuse me, let me have your phone. We're going to smash it now."
So, uh, so how do demons deal with aliens?
I think they're fun. I think they're fun. They do things a little weird, Most of them don't talk our language. They just kind of like talk to you in your head, and then you're like, "Is that my voice or your voice?" Because I'm a little confused.
Uh, Now, have you run into any xenomorphs since you've seen aliens and tried to capture one?
I've run into a couple of them, and I've tried to catch them, and then they take off the thing, and then it's a human that's dressed up as one. So it was very upsetting. But
So,
the suits were amazing looking. So there's that.
yeah, it's some of those alien and xenomorph costumes are stupid good. You're like
Yes, they are. They
yeah, you're
are.
like, what? How much did you have to spend, and how much time did you take to make that? Uh, and then you find out how it takes to get inside one. A few years ago, I was going to buy a full Predator costume, and the guy's like, "Oh yeah, yeah," and I like look at it, and it's just it looks like a wetsuit inside, just a rubber wetsuit, and I was like, "Yeah, I don't want to wear this after you've worn it." Like,
Yeah, they're pretty crazy on how some of the cosplayers build things, and it's always impressive to see it. Um, One of the things that we do at Haunted Screams Expo is we have our own version of Face Off, and we call it Monster On.
mhm.
So the people, all the special effect people, come out there, and they have to make a monster from head to toe, right in front of everybody, from start to finish in 4 hours. And the winners of it will get a makeup kit for them to carry around, first through fourth place trophies, and a contract with an independent film so that way they could actually get their career started. That one's pretty fun. I love seeing the creativity of people and cosplayers that can put things together and bring, people like you and make them into people like me.
Now, you have you ever been approached to be not just a host, but to be in a movie?
I get approached with, what is that? And I'm sorry, sir, you can't be here. If you don't leave, we'll be putting you under arrest. Does that count? Oh, there was a time where, somebody approached me and said, "Hey, aren't you from Harry Potter? Or aren't you the guy from Sin City?" I get that one a lot too. And I'm like, just because I'm yellow doesn't mean that I'm from them. You know? But yeah,
Yeah. Now, so is your house like the coolest house come
I
Halloween
like
time?
it. I like it. I like my house a lot. I have lots of different Halloween things, and different rooms that are set up for different things. I have one room, and we should have recorded in that room because I think that would have been better. But I got people partying there right now, and it's like a cave set up. So that one's really nice, and it's got all my horror collection stuff in there.
Yeah, yeah. That's you don't really want people. You're coming in and getting your horror stuff though. That's the only bad part about showing off your horror stuff because people
Yeah,
will be like, "Hey, that's cool." My,
yeah. Can
yeah.
I play with that? No, you can't. Stop! Don't touch him. But yes, I get it.
Yes, that's one of the problems I have with all this stuff back here and over here that you can't see. All the nephews and the nieces come over and they're like, "Oh, that's cool." I'm like, "Don't touch that. That's my." You can play video games, but you cannot touch the toys.
Yes, I have entertainment room set up for friends, and it has a bunch of old actual machines. It's like the old Atari game systems, or you put the quarters in,
Hmm.
from back in the day. I have a pool table, and then on the other side, I actually have my snakes because I have 20 snakes that I actually breed, and they're always fun to have around.
Oh, what's your favorite snake?
Oh, that's like saying, what's your favorite child? You can't really pick one. You have to say all of them.
What's your I guess I wouldn't say you have a favorite snake, but what's your favorite breed of snake?
Oh, I deal with boa constrictors.
Yeah,
I have a lot of boa constrictors.
I
Um,
those get insanely pretty. I've never owned one. I've had friends who've owned one. I don't have any now, but I was a lizard guy. Had monitor lizard. So
oh, nice.
yeah.
I love
So
those.
boa constrictors. Now I got cats and dogs because I get yeah.
That's okay. I have a dog too. So, my dog is he's 150 pounds. His name is Kuma. He's an Akita. And
Oh,
he's
Keita.
always trying to bring me home treats.
Yes.
I'm like, don't do that.
Yes. My mom's Akita tried to take down a deer one time. Uh, they will try. She was a big dog too. So how long have you been out of hell serving up here as the just
Well, in your timeline, it's been a good time. It's been about 20 years. Um, in hell time, it's been about like 2 hours.
because time travels differently. People don't
Of
realize
course
that.
it is, and people don't understand that.
Yeah,
You
that's right.
know,
That's why you spend an eternity in hell, and if you do get kicked out of hell, it's only been like a couple days. So
it is, and I'm enjoying my time. And I call Lucifer all the time, and I'm like, "Do you want me to come back?" He goes, "No, we don't miss you. Stay up there."
now, do you have other demons who came out with you, or you just got kicked out by yourself?
I got kicked out by myself, but every Halloween I get to see some of my friends come back, and I'm like, "Hey," and they're like, "Hey, Laitram, we can't talk to you right now. We got things to do." I'm like, "Okay."
Like the boss won't let us talk to you. No.
Yes, but that's okay. I'm making new friends like you, you
Yes,
know?
exactly. And with doing the horror conventions now, what are some of the horror conventions you've gone to? Not the one that you like, the not your convention personally, the other conventions
Right,
you've said.
right.
Or yes, yes.
Oh, I've gone to a lot of different ones, and each one of them, it's unique and special in their own way. And I love the way that people put them together, and I love seeing the fans and getting to know people. I've gone to, let's see, Scares That Cares. That's a good one. I really enjoy them. Hellhound. I've gone to the Horror Fest in Jersey. I've gone to one in North Carolina, Florida Fest in North Carolina. I've gone to Monster Mania, uh, which is, a wrestling one, but they called it Monster Mania. And I was like, yeah, I guess they could be monsters. And, I've actually gone to a couple other ones that are slipping my mind. I just came back from one, which was really unique, and I liked that one a lot. I know there's a New Jersey one that I'm going to pretty soon. So yeah, but yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with them all.
Now, have you met all the guests you've wanted to meet, or there's just a guest that you have not met yet that you really want to meet?
You know, I have met quite a few, horror actors, and the way I look at it is, if I haven't met them, I want to meet them, because eventually I want to meet everybody that I can. And I'm always going to be disappointed, whether if it's an actor or just a person in general. I want to meet everybody, before I have to go back. And I want to make a lasting impression to where, if you and I were to meet up, let's say that we met up in California for like Monster Palooza, we'd be able to hang out and have a good time. And that's the relationship that I want to build with everybody. And a lot of the actors, they're really down to earth people. And they're really friendly. And so far I've gotten a good rapport with a lot of them. Some of them I talk to on a daily basis, and some of them are looking forward to meeting up again. It was funny because I was talking to Robert Mukes, and he called me up the other day, and he was like, "Hey, man, are we still going to Dragon Con together?" And I was like, "Dragon Con? Let me get back to you and see if we can make this happen." Because I think it'd be fun to run around with a guy that's huge, and I'll be like, "I'm your bodyguard," but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I haven't been to Dragon Con in forever. I need to get back down there sometime. Uh God, I 20, I think it's 20 years ago since the last time I was there. Jeez, that's
Yeah, well, life gets busy,
yes,
you
it
know?
does. Um, Especially since like I said, with I got kids, which now three of them are adults and I only got one still at home. Running my own shop, doing the podcast, doing my other two shows, and trying to do conventions when I can. Then I'm trying to put on my own convention personally back here in my small hometown. And we did really good. And we were literally the weekend we got our venue. I was going to announce the date and start announcing guests, and that was the day they shut Ohio down. So
Oh,
So
oh,
it got put on the back burner till this year. We're getting the venue all knocked out and the dates all figured out and trying to work around other people's days so we don't have other conventions going on the same day. And I I couldn't I couldn't imagine yours is huge compared to ours. I couldn't imagine trying to work the logistics out of something like that, getting all those guests and the dates and the venue and whatnot. That has to be insane.
yeah, it's hard. I mean, when I picked out the dates, it was fine. Everything was fine. Everything was good. Rented out the convention center and set everything up. And then once COVID hit, everybody started shuffling things around and redoing it and rebooking. And so now there's a lot of people that are doing conventions around the same time that mine is.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens, but hopefully I still have a good turnout.
Yeah.
you know.
That's we were supposed to redo ours last year, and it kept getting closer and closer. I had the venue, I had everything. Luckily, the people worked with me, and it got down to the point where I was like, okay, there's literally, I think, 5 things going on the same weekend I had booked it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to compete with 5 other things. We'll never get the guests. So I was like, all right, we'll put it off till the next
You
year.
know, never say never.
No,
You know, have confidence in what you do. You have a good following. All you have to do is just push it out there. You never know what's going to happen.
oh yeah, yeah. We get people who, my store is technically the thing that puts it on. And I have people who are like, oh, I didn't know there was a store here. I'm like, did you go to the comic book convention here in town? They're like, yeah. I was like, that's me. I'm the one that did that. That's 100%. I am the one that booked that. You saw me as you walked in the door. uh, no,
Unfortunately, a lot of people don't know how much work goes into putting a con on.
no.
You know,
One of my really good friends, he puts on one, and I think this was their 15th anniversary this last year, or last year, yeah. And he's doing it this year, and I'm like, I don't know how you do it. There's no, and he does all these little small ones too. So he's built, he did one big one, now he's doing a couple small ones, now he's doing a couple smaller ones out in the periphery. And I'm like, and he's got 2 little kids, and no, I'm like, I don't know how you do that, but he does. So good on him, man. He's a great guy though. So if you ever hear from a Jesse Noble for Gem City Comic Con, he's a good guy. So shout out to Jesse. There, hold on a second. Okay. So do you have, I gotta go back to the whole demon thing. Do you have the demon mobile, or do you just drive like a Prius?
somebody try to call in. I'm sorry.
Okay.
What was your question?
Oh, I was sitting there. I was like, do you get like a cool demon car, or do you get or what do you drive? I should ask.
Well, right now I'm looking for a very cool demon car. As of right now, I drive a Camaro, and it has it's all black with flames going up the top and dragons on the side. And then I have a motorcycle. It's a Ninja Kawasaki, but I really am trying to find something that fits me more, just so I could show up in conventions with that. And they'd be like, "Yep, there's Laitram."
Yep. So I have 2 Camaros.
Nice.
Both of mine are old, and they're both project cars, and they're in the garage. But then my daily driver is it would be the perfect color for you because it is Inferno red. So
I love it. I love it. And I prefer to have an old car that I can work on.
yeah,
There's way too much going on now, and it's like, it's not working. And they're like, oh, you just have to reset the button. I'm like, okay, well, there you go, electronics again.
yes. I have my convention van, which isn't old, but it's a 2011, no, like Dodge Town and Country. So and it just stopped working, and I'm like, why doesn't it work? And they're like, oh, the computer's bad. Oh,
Yeah.
so then I had to go and pull that out, which is like, oh, I can fix this. This is easy. You just pull the tire off, you pull this panel out, you pull the computer out, you put the new computer in, you put the panel back in, you put the tire back on. Not that easy. You got to get it to the dealership so they can reset the computer so that your key works, and that will acknowledge your car is the car that, because the old computer is set to that car, and then the new computer needs to be set to your car. So they make it so you can't fix it, even if you can fix it. So,
Right.
yeah. But now the Camaros out in the garage are 350 Chevy engines that are easy to fix. Except for I can't figure out why I'm not getting gas from my gas tank to my engine on one of them. But
Ooh.
that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, that's you got to trace the lines and everything. Oh my God, that's a nightmare.
Yeah. It's and up until recently I just didn't have the space to work on it, so we had to build a shed, and now I put my tools in there, and then I'll jack up my car and I'll get up underneath it. Hopefully I'll find out why from point A to point B. So
Well, good luck on that.
yeah.
Let me
No,
know. Keep me dated on that one. So,
yeah, it's a 78 and an 82, but
oh, nice.
the 82 had an engine swap, so now it has a engine out of a 70, I think they said 74 Corvette in the engine in it.
Okay.
So it's still a
All right.
350 Chevy engine. It's not uh as we go on. So what kind of motorcycle are you looking for? Since you're looking for a custom, you want to get a custom built one for yourself, or you want to find you one that fits you? Custom.
I was thinking about trying to track down a replica of the original Ghost Rider movie one. Just a big old, sit back chopper with a big skull on it with the chains for the forks.
I seen that at Pittsburgh Comic Con. I think was the last time I saw that.
Yeah,
So
I think it would fit me.
yes, the giant flaming skull eyes. And now see, but would you be able to turn on the flames?
Oh, I don't know.
Because you're not a
I don't
spirit of
know.
vengeance, so you might be able to ride
Well,
the bike.
I'm hoping I can. I just want to drive up the side of a building, actually.
Do the see? I'm not gonna lie. I like the new Ghost Rider with the Hell Charger. But because I love the Charger. That is a beautiful car, and to have flaming wheels and be able to drive up buildings too in a Charger would be awesome.
I have a friend of mine that actually bought the Demon, but he never takes it above 55, and I think that's such a waste of an engine.
I told my wife if because I my car that I have, my daily driver is a Hemi Magnum.
Okay.
So I want to, if I ever, the only problem is it's only got 60,000 miles on it. So I hate driving it more than I have to, but it is my daily driver. So I do have, but I told my wife, I was like, if I ever get a chance, I'm putting a Demon in it. I'm putting the Dodge Demon engine in it. And she goes, why? I was like, because I want to be sneaky. I want to roll up in what looks like a station wagon that has like 700 horsepower. So
Hey, sleepers are the way to go. You can't, I mean, that would be really cool just to be able to pull up to somebody and then they got like their all little rice burning vehicle all jazzed up and everything. And then they're like, just, boom, just blow them out of the water real fast on the drag strip.
I had a 87 Camaro, and that thing was fast. Everybody wanted to race me in it. So I finally had to my father-in-law gave it to me. I had to give it back to him one time, and I looked at him, I was like, I'm gonna die in this car. I need you to take it for the time being. So when I could be responsible with it, I can have it back. So but now is a Camaro your favorite car since you
Yeah,
got one? Yes. What year do you
yes,
have?
it did. I have a 2011 right now. I would really like to go back and get like a 67 and rebuild it from scratch.
Yeah, I'm a I love those first 3 years, um, but I also really like the 71 and 72s. So I always say they look like they have a mouth, like they're trying to eat something.
Yeah, my father had a 1971, and it was a greenish color. It was a beautiful car, and I really wish that I could find that one again and restore it as well.
Yeah,
So I really enjoyed that one.
my dad had a 69 Trans Am or Firebird, not Trans Am,
I
and I would
nice.
love to have that, but I have no one knows where that car ever went to after he sold it when I was born. So
It
see,
happens.
yeah, see, I had to come along and screw it up. So, um, with everything that's going on, with you being out of hell, um, do you ever miss it? To going back because you're like you got to be like this place is worse than hell. I want to go back.
Yeah, if I ever do miss hell, I just go sit in D&D for 5 hours. You know.
Uh, That's what's crazy, because I went to the BMV the other day, and I was in and out, and I was like, this is weird. I walked in, they're like, we can wait on you now. I'm like, me? Are you sure?
Well,
I thought there was like, but nope. I walked in, walked out. I was like, I can't believe this is the BMV, but there we are. So
wow. We must have like signed some sort of deal that we don't know about.
evidently, I don't know. Um, oh, I do have to ask this question, since you are a demon. Um, did Robert Johnson sell his soul to learn how to play guitar?
Oh, he just sold his soul, yes, but it wasn't to learn to play guitar. It's just so he could naturally do it.
Okay, okay. Yeah. So do you ever run into people that sold their soul, and you're like, you're still up here?
Yes, I'm like, oh, enjoying life so far. I'll see you soon.
Oh man. Um, is there anything else that you'd like to talk to us about? Like any upcoming projects or anything?
Um, I really don't know. I mean, that's pretty much your department to ask the questions, and
Do you have
I'm
any
enjoying talking.
do you have any upcoming convention appearances or anything?
Um, I have to look at my schedule. There's a lot of places that has invited me, and if I can make appearances, I try to do so on my best. And it doesn't even have to be horror cons. Like we just talked about Dragon Con and some anime conventions, which is always funny because then they look at me and go, "What are you?" I'm like, "I don't know. What are you?" But,
Do you watch anime?
yes, I do. I do. I like anime, and it's funny because like I remember a long time ago, um, I went to Otakon. And this was when Otakon was still small, and me and my friends dressed up as like Marvel characters, and people looked at me and said, "You're in the wrong convention." I said, "Why? I can't like anime." And I just didn't understand what that person was yelling about. But now I look back at it and I see all the people that cosplay at different things, and I think it's great. I love seeing the nurses come walking around and doing their little twitch at different conventions, and I'm like, "Yay, the nurses are here!" you know so
Love
it
the
it just goes to show you anybody could go to any convention as long as you have the imagination and you're willing to go and have fun.
Yeah,
Don't
it's all about having fun.
yeah.
I learned that relatively late in life, doing conventions. I started actually. I have a full set of stormtrooper armor. I have Sith robes. I have the Red Hood costume, which no, you can't see it. The helmet's over there. I have, and hopefully by the end of the week, I will have a full Spider-Man costume. And
Oh, beautiful.
so the only thing is that I either A, got to get really skinny and lose some weight, or I got to be Richard B. Parker from the old man Spider-Man, the one. So I can wear the bathrobe and the sweatpants, but the Spider-Man hood. And the,
Exactly.
now, did you have a favorite? What was your favorite costume that you had when you were a kid?
And my favorite costume that I had when I was a kid. um wow, let's see. I think when I was a little child, I used to run around as Batman, and I had like the little stupid plastic one with the plastic mask.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it felt like a garbage bag. But my imagination wouldn't let me stop thinking about that, and I did whatever I wanted anyway, jumping off the couches and trying to swing from the chandelier, which my parents didn't like. When I got into a little older, um, me and my friends would run around as like the group of the Lost Boys. So I enjoyed being vampires for a little while there. I went into that mode of life, and that was really fun to do. And then I really got into creating and making prosthetics and full blown costumes. And I really enjoyed making them and putting them on other people and just sitting back and watching reactions from people afar. And so yeah, there's been a lot, but I'm very very happy with the life that I've lived so far.
Oh yeah. It's do you ever get people put them up and then take them out just in the public and for no reason other than to just mess with people?
Oh yes, very much so. Okay, so here's a story for you, and I got in trouble on this one. Do you remember Blockbuster videos?
Yes.
Okay, so me and a friend of mine, when we were very young, we went to a Blockbuster, and before we went there, we were in my house, and I put a fake arm on him, and we put a blood pack and a little pump, and he put his arm behind his back, and then we put the jacket over with the fake arm in there. We go to Blockbuster, and he starts picking up a movie, and I was like, "You always want that movie." We started arguing, started fighting. He threw the fake arm up like this. I broke it. Blood started squirting everywhere. And I'm running around with a fake arm, screaming bloody murder. Please help my friend. Ambulance shows up. The police show up. And then our parents had to come and pick us up at the police station. They were not happy with us at all.
I've never done nothing that big. I just scared my parents a lot when I was a kid. I found the like the mortician's wax and stuff like that, and I'd make the like eyeball hanging out and whatnot. Like, Mom. Um,
I could see that. Kind of like, what was that movie? Summer School. The movie
Summer School, yes. With
Yes, love that movie.
Chainsaw, Dave and Chainsaw.
Yeah, I think I
Just
would get in a lot of trouble if I did that in school. But yeah, yeah.
Junior year of high school, I got this thing. You put your hand in it, and you folded your fingers like this, and it was a glove that looked like your hand. You stick your thumb out, and it ran a tube up through your back, and it came down to your other hand. So you squeezed it, and blood would come out where the fingers were. In shop class, I'm cutting metal, and I go, thump, and I go, ah, and blood squirting everywhere. My teacher runs back, slides across the floor, starts going through everything on the floor, going, find his fingers, find his fingers. And at this point, I'm starting to laugh so hard I couldn't do anything about it. And he's like, and he stands up, and I'm pulling the glove off. And I thought I was dead. I thought that this guy was going to kill me. And ironically enough, I mean, it was right at Halloween time. It was a Halloween prank, and this is back in the 90s. Yeah, early 90s, where you could kind of get away with some of this stuff. And I just got a great big talking to, and I'm like expecting like the hammer to get dropped on me, and it never came. And I'm like, okay, I got away with it. So, that's not a thing you teach a kid, is that you can get away with.
No, definitely not.
Uh,
Sounds fun. Sounds a lot of fun.
Those were, I don't even know if you can buy those anymore. I haven't seen them in years, but I'm sure you can make one.
I think if the two of us were to actually hang out, that might be really dangerous for the world. It'd be fun though. It'd be very fun.
I'm trying to get, a friend of mine did a Bigfoot movie locally, and
Oh, nice.
their costume is I think in northern Kentucky. And I'm trying to get them to bring it back so I can use it just to mess with my friends. Except for I got to know the friends that don't have guns, because I don't want to get shot being Bigfoot outside of their house.
Yeah, they might do it just to say, "Hey, look, Bigfoot is real. We have proof." Oh wait, that's not. Never mind. That's Paul.
Paul, you shot me. No, that's I love messing with people, and still to this day I do. And it's gotten harder to do because more people are more savvy to this stuff. But just to be able to, I messed with my neighbor kid when I grew up out in the country because he was afraid of Jason. So I hung outside his house while like my parents and his parents were hanging out in their kitchen talking. He was in his bedroom watching TV. And I come up and I'm like, starts tapping on his window with the hockey mask on, the full coveralls, the big knife. And yeah, you can't do that now because I would have got shot.
Get shot now. But yeah. Wow. That's so much fun.
Yeah, and that gives away my age a lot. Telling these stories about stuff that you could do in the 90s you can't do today, or in the 80s you couldn't do today. So,
True, very true.
Yeah. Now, do you ever get to take your monsters out, like, come Halloween time, you get to take them out into the neighborhoods, or do you go take them to the mall, or do you take them to like shops or anything like that locally?
Yeah, there's a local place called Herrigel's Halloween House, and he's pretty big up and down the East Coast. But we go over there, we help out, pass out candy and talk to the children. Uh, Out in Virginia Beach, they did it once, and I don't know what happened, but they had a Halloween parade, and they asked me and a couple of the guys to get dressed up and go there. So we did that, and if you look on my Instagram and my Facebook, you'll see a lot of our creatures that we've created over the years. Um, but yeah, I always enjoy that. I really enjoy getting out there and talking to people and having fun, and especially letting them know, that Halloween is not just about this, but it's about the imagination and becoming anything that you want to become. I even went on a local news channel and they interviewed me. And it's very interesting because they were all about it. And then as soon as the lady that was supposed to talk to me comes out, she tripped and fell back because she was like, "What is that?" And I was like, "Hello, I'm the guy you're interviewing." And they're like, "Oh, okay, can you stay over there?" I'm like, "I'm not going to move until you feel comfortable. It's okay."
Is that online? Is the interview with
Yes,
you?
yes.
Okay, cool.
Well,
I'm gonna have to
not
find
the
that.
not the falling part, but the actual interview
The actual
itself.
interview,
Yes.
yeah. That's cool. That's cool. Um, Now, you said you're on Facebook, you're on Instagram, you're on YouTube. Any other places we can find you?
I have a huge following on TikTok. I enjoy doing the little TikTok videos that I shared on YouTube that you
Mhm.
enjoyed. I got a bunch of days. So if you ever go onto TikTok, look it up, you know. And then of course I have my Twitter account, but I'm not on there as much as I should be, you know. But yeah, I try to keep up with social media at least this last 2 years because people kept on bugging me and saying you need to get out there. So my Facebook one, it's like, who are you? And I'm like, hey, I'm Laitram Tsol, and people told me to come out here, so here I am.
Uh, oh, before I go, um, is is heavy metal the devil's music?
No, no, definitely not. That's for everybody to enjoy. I can't really tell you which one it is because, that's our little secret. And the more people listen to it, the better off we are.
Uh, I always love that. So does KISS stand for Night and Satan Service?
Uh, it sounds like keep it simple, stupid. Seriously.
uh, so what's your favorite music? What's your favorite genre of music?
Metal. Definitely metal.
You have a favorite band right now?
Um, I don't know. There's a bunch of good ones. I'm pretty old school, so I mean, you can't go wrong with Kiss. Slayer's good. But yeah, Metallica. I really enjoyed Metallica, the old ones and the new ones. It's kind of a love-hate relationship with them. So yeah, I I really enjoy them.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, I am so glad you came on here. Hopefully we will get close to some time where you're at a convention that I can get to, or you're at a convention that we can meet up sometime. Because I think that'd be awesome. I'd love to see some of your work and your prosthetics and stuff like that in person. And I do appreciate it. And is there anything else that we forgot to talk about? I don't think so. I will put a post to your accounts and stuff at the end of the episode, and so people can come find you and all that fun stuff. And if I find it, I'll find a list of your convention appearances. I'll put that up at the end too. But I do appreciate it. Thank you a lot. Like I said, I like it. Anytime I can get somebody cool on here, I love doing this. It's fun. You've been great. And it's I don't know, it's just been cool. I appreciate it. So
Well, thank you very much for having me. It's been a pleasure getting to know you and meeting you as well.
Yep.
And I hope to see our friendship grow over the years.
Yes, I would love to see that too. So, yeah. So I will bid you adieu and a good night. And whenever you're watching this, or if you're recording, a good morning. So I will talk to you later. And
All right.
all right. And
Bye,
good.
TV Land.
We'd like to thank Laitram Tsol for coming on today. It's not every day you get to talk to a demon from hell, even if he has been kicked out of hell. We are going to talk to him more, and hopefully we can get to meet him in person here relatively soon. By relatively, I mean maybe September-ish. So, as always, tonight's episode of the Group Therapy Podcast is brought to you by RU Game, the best comic book collectible nerd shop located at 124 North Sunset Drive, Pickle, Ohio, 45356. And as always, you can watch me on my other shows, Fridays, every Friday at 8 p.m. and Saturday morning serials every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. At 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on both of those. And you can check us out Mondays at 12 noon for more episodes of the Group Therapy Podcast. We have some great guests coming up. I have a full calendar for the next week, probably-ish. So we're going to pound out a bunch of episodes, and I won't get behind like I did this week. So I apologize. And as always, take care and have fun. And I will see you all next time. Later.